Dimethyl Silfoxide. That's what we need to get.
Here I go.
Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Welcome to the Human Resource Portal for the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Humans are fourth most important resource at the Ministry. If you have a complaint about anything work-related, write about it here. You will feel much better after you do. Actually, let's look at a complaint. Caroline Endicott, finally taking action. Theodore Isaacs keeps eating my purple-berry lunches. I know that sprat-toothed little snot is the one doing it. I've seen him with cracker crumbs on his lips and purple-berry stains on that lab coat. Working next to him and seeing him pick the remains of my lunch out of his disgusting teeth just makes me want to scream. There, I did it. I screamed a little. That felt good. I'm just going to sit in the kitchen and wait for him to do it again. I'll catch him in the act, and then I'll come back and write up another entry. I'm going to be so livid.
Sure.
Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
Nothing exciting ever happens around here.
Not so fast. The Ministry of Accuracy and Morale is off limits to everyone without X-36 level clearance.
It's okay. I'm a doctor.
I don't care if you're a brain surgeon. If you don't work here, or for Chairman Rockwell himself, you're not getting in.
Worth a try. You'd be surprised how often that works.
Like I said, X-36 clearance only beyond this point.
How's this for clearance?
I don't know how you got that, but I still don't know you, and I don't have any new clearances on the list.
You must not be up to date on Z-532 clearances.
What are you talking about? There's no such thing.
Sure there is. You just don't have the clearance to know about it.
What? There's no way. I'm cleared to know about all clearances. I mean, I've gotta be, right?
Not mine. Come to think of it, I may have to write you up just for hearing about it.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Go on through, and let's pretend this conversation never happened.
Sure.
Wow. Oh, okay. If you didn't have 100 and lie, you could have done this way if you had a high lockpick. That makes sense. Multiple ways to get to the same place.
Be right there.
What the heck? I'm gonna run out of this stuff here.
Huh? No visitors allowed, citizen. I'm gonna need to see some identification.
Use your dialogue skills in conversation to avoid combat and reset your shroud. How embarrassing. I must have left it at home.
Sure. I've heard that one before.
Doubt it. My story involves 3 sprats, a half-drained sun baton, and a gallon of stimulotion.
Stop, stop! I don't want to hear anymore. Just don't let me catch you again without your ID. Okay?
You got it. Interrogation successful. Your shroud disguise is recharged. This only works a few times in each restricted area.
Real slick.
Should have just jumped over that ledge.
And we're stalking. And we're stalking.
Dang it. Universal Defense Logistics would like to remind employees that it is in no way responsible for the highly unfortunate but realistically probable case of loss of life in its facilities. Welcome to the Human Experimentation Station of the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Human testing is a required step of any new product or process in order to ensure accuracy. Please be sure to document the results of all tests thoroughly to save the expense of additional trials. Alright, let's transfer the dimethyl sulfoxide to the canister. Warning. This procedure may result in the invalidation of experiment results and the death of human test subjects. Sudden withdrawal from dimethyl sulfoxide is highly lethal and will result in the cancellation of any in-progress experiments. Experimental integrity and test subject vitality can be maintained by leaving a 73.629% dimethyl sulfoxide concentration in circulation. Experiment details. lifetime employment program. Objective to repeatedly revive human subjects from extended hibernation without causing the death of the human subject and the loss of associated productivity. Results inconclusive. Prognosis cautiously optimistic. Finney said as much as he can get.
This area is for authorized personnel only. You're not supposed to be here, are you?
Relax, how do you think I got here?
I guess that's what I was wondering.
You really think I got past all the other guards if I don't belong?
When you put it that way, it does sound pretty unlikely. Still, you should go. I don't think the other guards will be as rational about this as I am.
If you say so. What is that little purple thing over their head?
Let the record show that Subject 23K's cause of death is cerebrovascular incident brought about by a ruptured aneurysm.
That's an 86% failure rate for this batch. I think we can safely move on to the next.
And I had such high hopes for this one. Oh well, I suppose it could have been worse.
Yeah. They could have ended up like those poor bastards in containment.
Anyone caught or suspected of using ministry terminals for criminal, defamatory, or non-work related purposes will be prosecuted. Autopsy records. Note, all subjects have perished after undergoing multiple hibernation cycles. Subject 19F, massive cranial hemorrhage upon removal from hibernation chamber. Subject 61B, intestinal rupture upon removal from hibernation chamber. Subject 82C, lab technician accidentally shorted hibernation chamber. Subject electrocuted. Subject 15R, pulmonary edema upon removal from hibernation chamber. Dang, they have no success stories. Let's get out of here. Alright, so we failed miserably trying to find the elevator. We're gonna try it again.
Keep your eyes out for dissidents.
Trespassing in the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale is punishable by death. You've got one chance to explain why I shouldn't blow you away right now.
Your weapon isn't loaded, for starters.
Wait. Really?
If you're not even sure, then you have no business carrying it.
I'm gonna take a minute, just to do a quick inspection. You'd better be gone by the time I'm done. No more warnings.
Fine. Okay. right around the corner over here to the left. Yeah, nice. That was actually pretty close.
Not today, Sam. I am not in the mood for a deep clean. Oh, all right. Some culprit who shall not be named spilled Rizzo's lemon slap on my... You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career.
It got your attention at least.
I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. Today the region is profitable for the first time in years. Its workers are productive. They might even be happy. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky.
You almost sound like you approve.
Not always. For the longest time, I could never be sure if you were on our side or against us. You should be back on the Hope, frozen in a hibernation chamber. Yet here you are, flying about in a stolen ship, leaving a trail of paperwork in your wake. The board doesn't know what to make of you. But I do. I've seen your potential. There's so much we can do for this colony.
How do you know I'm from the Hope?
We raised security on the Hope after Wells broke in. As for discovering the identity of the missing colonist, all we had to do was scan the passenger manifest.
I'm sure you didn't bring me all this way just to flatter me.
You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate.
How did you find my ship?
There's exactly one vessel in all of Byzantium that looks like it dropped out of an aetherwave drama. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us.
Wanted for what exactly?
He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
You want me to sell him out?
Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm asking you to help me correct that mistake. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal. When you're done, come speak to me in my office.
Adjutant Akande's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else, Captain?
Let's get out of here.
We've arrived at Phineas's orbital lab.
in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the Dimethyl Silfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
Forget about the chemicals for a second. The colony's on the verge of collapse.
What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation.
It gets worse. The chairman's planning on freezing every worker in Halcyon.
Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have: time and chemicals to revive the other settlers. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved.
I found your chemicals in the Ministry. The board was testing them on human subjects.
Human test subjects? Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board.
I had to let the test subjects die, but I brought back all the chemicals they had.
Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives. Those poor people, they must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish?
The board's trying to mitigate damage to human tissue during the revival process.
You say the board's trying to freeze their subjects over and over again without inflicting permanent damage? Well, they're nowhere close to solving that problem. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly 0 progress.
Focus, Phineas. Halcyon's gonna collapse unless we do something.
We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers.
We need to think about this. There has to be something we can do.
Short of lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope.
There's a way. It's not exactly safe, but we could skip the Hope into the system.
Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
The Hope's probably damaged. We'll have to route power from the Unreliable.
Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our bitty little ship supposed to skip it?
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope skip drive. Your navigational computer can handle the rest.
I've got a healthy disregard for personal safety, but this sounds crazy, even to me.
Your instincts are correct. By any reasonable definition of sanity, this plan is crazy. Isn't it wonderful? You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately.
I'll do it.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it.
The adjutant asked me to place a tracking signal in your lab, but I'm not gonna do it.
You absolutely should.
You've got a plan of some sort?
The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time.
You sure you're okay with this?
The enemy is bound to discover my hideout sooner or later. I'm prepared for that eventuality. This is just my way of buying myself a little time. Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses.
I'll be back.
So, sneak onto a lost colony ship and skip it across the system. What could go wrong?
Send the corrupted tracking signal. Alright, level 29. Trying to think who would be good to take with us for this mission.
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial.
Hey boss, I want to talk to you.
I thought they were discussing the Aetherwave thing.
Oh my gosh, Felix, you got to hear this. You know Princess of Hephaestus? That late show about the freedom fighter with a pure heart and a mean right hook? She finally kissed her sweetheart, Miss Yuko.
Wow, are you serious? I gotta get a copy of that. You know, they're gonna make a serial about our adventures one day. I've been trying to think of a good title for this episode. I like the sound of The Skip Job. No, wait, I got it. Hope in Dark Times. Get it? Hope? Like the ship. That's what folks in the business call wordplay.
Not bad, Felix. Our adventure serial's gonna need a name too.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Got a list right here. Thrilling Tales of the Unreliable. Or maybe spine-chilling stories from the edge of the system. Was also considering astounding adventures in the ether. I'm partial to that last one.
I prefer The Adventures of Zymoxy and Company.
Not bad. Got a nice ring to it. Stealing the hope from the board, skipping it across the whole damn system. This is gonna be great. I can't wait.
I like your attitude, Felix.
Enough to boost my pay? I'm just kidding, boss. I know you don't pay me. I'm sure you've got plans to make. As for me, I gotta keep practicing my signature dropkick. The Hope might have cameras.
Greetings, customer.
If you don't, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony.
I'll be there.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. Do return in one piece, Captain.
Probably gonna make me take all my guns off.
Not so fast. All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting you. Go on through.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival.
What's gonna happen to Wellis?
The signal you sent us is experiencing some interference. My agents will need time to isolate the problem. We're going to monitor Wells until we're ready to make a move. I asked you here to discuss something far more important. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act.
The powerful make the mistakes, and the powerless are left paying the price, as it has always been. Tell me, Adjutant, have you anything to offer beyond the usual false platitudes?
I'm offering decisive action, Vicar DeSoto. I can no longer depend on lazy, weak-willed bureaucrats to help me rescue Halcyon. I need someone with a backbone, someone like your captain. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to save it.
We need to talk about this lifetime employment program.
I'll answer however I can.
You don't honestly believe all this lifetime employment nonsense, do you?
The Lifetime Employment Program is not some malevolent strategy of an evil mastermind. There's no dark secret buried in the fine print. The program is logical, it's reasonable, it's merciful, and most importantly, it will work.
I saw the presentation. Rockwell wants to sacrifice the colony to save Byzantium.
Byzantium is the beating heart of our colony. And as long as Byzantium survives, Halcyon may one day recover from the collapse. We must protect this city at any cost. Help me execute the Lifetime Employment Program, and you will have earned a place of honor in Byzantium. You will live in comfort and want for nothing.
How long do we have?
We've already crossed the point of no return. The collapse has already begun. You must have noticed the signs in Emerald Vale. Malnutrition, disease, high mortality rates. This is a permanent famine, Captain. We've done all we can to curb their hunger. Very soon, people are going to realize they're starving. A famine is a problem of logistics as well as marketing. Your workers must remain productive on as little food as possible, and they must always believe that food is plentiful.
That's what that research in Roseway was all about.
I'm sure you remember Dr. Anton Crane. His research was instrumental in developing a powerful appetite suppressant. The solution is a temporary one. Before long, our workers are going to feel the effects of starvation. The Lifetime Employment Program is our only viable option.
What's your take on all this?
When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked, even disgusted. I wondered how we'd allowed a colony like Halcyon to fall into disarray. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the colony had sown the seeds of its own destruction. We have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies. We deliberate and argue and procrastinate.
That's a pretty good argument for getting rid of the board entirely.
I admit, I occasionally fantasize about making an executive decision without having some tedious committee questioning my every move. Do you have any idea how much paperwork is involved in ordering someone's execution through the usual channels? It's positively maddening.
What does any of this have to do with me?
When you turned Phineas Wells over to me, I knew I could rely on you. You've demonstrated your ability to place duty above sentiment. And you deliver results. That quality alone is enough to separate you from the board's army of indecisive bureaucrats.
Not a fan of the bureaucracy, Sophia?
Do you know how many meetings I have to sit through? How many papers I have to sign before I can make one decision? I'm only trying to rescue Halcyon from extinction. I can't save this colony alone. I need someone capable of working outside the system. Someone who can get things done.
No more questions. Tell me why you wanted to see me.
We need to talk about Emerald Vale. I will be frank. Edgewater was a lost cause. I never expected the settlement to survive another year. But then, you came along. I don't know how you managed to convince a faction of disloyal workers to return to their posts. In fact, Edgewater is more productive than ever before. Every worker in Edgewater will be expedited into our lifetime employment program. Well done, Captain. That town owes you an enormous debt.
Expedited into the program? What do you mean by that?
Edgewater's workers have proven themselves valuable. When the time comes to place our most loyal workers in suspended animation, they're going to be the first in line. You should be proud of yourself, Captain. You're on the verge of making history. There's just one last job I need you to do for me. I've made arrangements for you to journey to the Hope. You will board your former colony ship, reactivate its navigation systems, and skip the colony ship into orbit around Tartarus. Once the Hope is in position, we will have everything we need to begin healing the colony.
Skipping the Hope across the colony sounds incredibly dangerous.
You've proven yourself more than capable. I don't know if there's anyone better suited to this mission than you.
Are you insane? One miscalculation and we'll skip the Hope right into the sun.
Give yourself some credit, Captain. You've come this far without dying in some senseless accident. Clearly, the Architect has a plan for you.
What's so important about the Hope?
Technology, Captain. The same technology that allowed you and your fellow colonists to make the journey from Earth to Halcyon. Under the Lifetime Employment Program, every suitable worker in Halcyon will be placed in suspended animation. The Hope is the perfect storage facility for the colony's workers.
What about the people on the Hope?
I won't lie to you. We're going to have to dispose of some of the Hope's settlers in order to make room for Halcyon's rotating workforce. But try to understand, many of your fellow settlers are beyond saving. They've been frozen for far too long, and the revival process would be lethal.
Why Tartarus?
Convenience. The Hope is a massive ship and we'll need to make use of it. Our facilities in Tartarus will benefit from having the ship within orbit.
How do you expect me to do this?
The Hope has been out of commission for years. You'll need to connect your own ship to the Hope's auxiliary power supply. Then make your way to the Hope's bridge. Your ship's computer will activate the Hope's skip drive and bring you into orbit around Tartarus.
All right, I'll do it.
I have the highest faith in your abilities, Captain. You and I are going to save Halcyon together.
Dang. Oh, I'll actually get to see what's hiding behind this door.
You're a deft hand with a mag pick.
Sure, on my way.
I don't think there's gonna be really anything even in here. Just drinks. Why was there such a hard lock on the door?
Captain, if you're looking for crew members Ellie or Felix, they're sharing a drink upstairs.
Felix, take it from me. Never get close to anyone. They'll just let you down.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta get close to people, you know? How else are you gonna land a sneak attack?
That's good. For a second, I was worried you were gonna say something mushy.
Oh, you were being serious? Well, what about us? We'd never let you down, right?
Hey, I don't take it personal. You look out for you, I look out for me. Law of the universe, you know? Besides, that's what's great about a ship like this. When things get weird, you leave.
I hope you stick around. The ship wouldn't be the same without you.
Don't go getting mushy on me now. Can we talk? So we're really gonna do this? I've seen lots of crazy, Captain, but Phineas is in a class of his own. Do you really think he knows what he's doing? Sending us to skip the Hope into Terra 2's orbit right under the board's nose?
Yes, I trust Phineas.
Something tells me you're the first person to ever utter those words, Captain. I think this whole plan's insane, but it'll make a good story, you know, if we survive. Speaking of, I get that Phineas thinks he's saving the colony, but what about you? Why risk your neck on this crazy scheme?
Well, what about you? You're still with me.
I'll do anything for a good story, and nothing shines on a pirate's resume like a successful suicide mission. But I asked you first.
The people of Halcyon deserve a chance. So do the colonists on the Hope.
Come on, Captain. That sounds like a bad movie line. Still, all this depends on the other Hope colonists. Are they gonna pull us out of the shit? Or are we all just gonna leave a bigger, uglier stain on this corner of the galaxy?
If they're half as capable as me, we'll be in good hands.
This is why I like you, Captain. Well, whenever you're ready to do this, I'm with you. Anything else?
I take it you've got something to say about Harlow?
What did I tell you? His down with the man shtick was just an act. No one who yammers that much means half of it.
It's hard to know who to trust.
Take a page out of my rule book. Don't trust anyone. Then it's easy.
Just because Harlow turned out to be crooked doesn't mean everyone's like that.
Don't get all mushy on me now. Come on, what did we just learn? People look out for their own interests. It's a fundamental law of nature, same as gravity and conservation of motion.
Except we've created artificial gravity.
This is why I hate metaphors. Look, I see a lot of people, inside and out. When you get down to it, we're all made of the same stuff. Once you accept that, nothing much surprises you.
Ever consider that looking out for others can be in your best interest?
I'm warning you, that reverse psychology stuff doesn't work on me.
Even you never really go it alone. You usually throw your lot in with a crew.
Sure do. And unlike you, Captain, the rest of us don't get a big fancy room with wall-to-wall windows. But let's forget about that, please. Anyway, you really expect me to believe you're working for the board out of some high-minded idealism?
No, but that's not the point.
You're right. The point is that self-interest is like self-pleasure. No one wants to admit it, but everyone has a hand in it. Enough about Harlow, though. Anything else?
What can you tell me about Byzantium?
It's like one of those stuffy art gallery pieces. Looks okay from far off, but once you get close, you realize it's just some mismatched shit everyone's agreed to overpay for. Even the bribes are overpriced.
Why did you leave?
The real question is, why didn't I leave sooner? There's all these invisible rules, and everyone spends all their energy just trying not to break them.
That's exhausting.
That's what I said. I'll take stale cigars and rationed showers any day. I was a top-tier surgeon, but I could hardly open a pack of gauze without 10 people signing off first.
So you had to deal with red tape? What of it?
That's no way to live. People call Byzantium the jewel of Halcyon, but really, it's just paste. Everything's polished and bureaucracy. Take a close look and you'll see it's deader than anywhere else in the colony.
Must have been interesting growing up there.
Interesting like a colonoscopy. I trained as a surgeon. More my folks' idea than mine, but I made the best of it.
Sounds like there's a but to this story.
Lots of them, unfortunately. I even sculpted a few. Turns out Byzantines are more concerned with having square shoulders and a good profile than, well, anything else.
I need the lay of the land. Anything I should know?
Don't trust anyone, don't touch anything, and whatever you do, don't show your teeth when you smile.
Why not?
People are extremely competitive about cosmetic dentistry. It can get ugly.
Enough about Byzantium.
That's what I've been saying.
What do you think about Zora and Sanjar coming to terms?
Things on Monarch have really cooled off. I didn't think MSI and the Iconoclast would ever talk. Outside of shouting four-letter words, I mean.
Just goes to show you there's always a peaceful option.
Sure, and fish sticks are really made from Saltuna. Look, I won't knock the work you did. I'm sure they'll have a good cry, look through old photographs, share a pint of premium double chocolate cacao gelato. But sooner or later, things will go back to the way they were. People don't change. Not really.
That was a very specific image.
Drawn from life, I guess. Anyway, I'd hate to see you get broken up if this thing between them doesn't last.
Nice to know you care.
Hey, let's not make this out to be more than it is. Anything else?
Never mind, let's go.
I didn't sign up for this. Here's what I don't understand. The Hope. Big damn colony ship, right? Lost on the edge of space, hundreds of thousands of colonists floating out there just waiting for a savior. And you're just gonna deliver them into the hands of the board?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Why? Because I'm just some hullhead from the Groundbreaker? At least I know right from wrong. It's just wrong. The board's already got a stranglehold on the entire colony. You're about to give them another ship full of slaves.
I'm part of the Hope too. You really think I'm gonna sell out my own?
I don't know what to think. It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the board. And right now, it's like the board's inside your head.
Alright, and what if I told you I'd never go through with it?
I'd say you're spinning me a story. I know you, boss. Don't try to pull one over on me.
I'm not about to change my course.
Then I guess we got nothing more to say to each other.
I must have said something wrong to Felix because for some reason he's assuming I'm gonna go towards Board, when Ellie just assumed that I would go towards Phineas. It's weird.
If I still believed in the grand plan, a revelation like this would have seriously shaken my faith. Knowing you, I can only assume you have already begun formulating a plan to deal with this. So tell me, what are we going to do?
We'll have to dig more into the issue and sort it all out.
Yes, of course. And when you do, you can count on me to back your play. Your instincts haven't failed us so far. Anything you'd like to discuss?
I'll think it over and get back to you. I wonder what Sam thinks.
Scanning for C2547. Grade rated contaminants.
Good work, Sam.
Thank you, customer Sam. We guarantee it's the only sanitation and maintenance unit you'll ever need.
Back to work, Sam.
Hey, Cap.
You getting along with the crew?
I'm still not quite sure what to make of that Max fellow. Sometimes he reminds me of Anders, and the way he stares at things as if he's gonna dismantle them. Shit. Look at me dredging up bygone days. Forget I said anything.
I'm not pushy. Talk when you're ready.
I will.
Felix and Ellie, man. I don't know about them two. Everyone else seems okay.
So then I says, fine, I'll pay you back for all of it. With interest.
Nice one. You must have had them quaking in their heels.
I mean, I wasn't really gonna do it. I just wanted to make him feel bad.
Pay you back with interest. I gotta remember that one.
Would have felt better if it had worked.
Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is not flattering. Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
I'd like to learn more about the colony.
What part of the colony would you like to discuss?
Monarch.
Where in Monarch?
Stellar Bay.
Ah, Monarch. The armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's Smuggler's Port at Fallbrook.
Why is Monarch being blockaded?
I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness, and a lawless land with no corporate presence. You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data points.
Smuggler's Port?
It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband, and before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't dock us there.
Goodbye.
Take care. I require a functioning captain to run the ship.
Alright, in the next episode we're gonna make the decision.